The anticipation surrounding a potential clash between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez has been building into one of the most debated topics in boxing history. Fans, fighters, and analysts across the world are weighing in, dissecting not only who would win, but also what this fight would mean for the legacy of both men. When these two names are spoken together, the conversation stretches far beyond the ring. It is about legacy, courage, and the willingness to take risks in pursuit of greatness. What makes this possible matchup so electrifying is not only the skill and records of both fighters, but also how their journeys intersect at this moment, when each man is attempting to cement himself as the face of the sport. Terence Crawford supporters argue that the talk of him being too small for Canelo is misguided. They insist that Crawford has never shown signs of vulnerability that suggest he could be knocked out, no matter who stands across from him. The evidence, they argue, simply does not exist. Crawford has faced bigger opponents before inspiring and inside the ring, and his adaptability and intelligence have always carried him through. Bernard Hopkins, one of boxing's greatest thinkers, gave Crawford an astonishing 85% chance of victory. This was not a casual opinion, but a deliberate calculation from a man whose entire career was built on discipline, tactical mastery, and the ability to rise above physical disadvantages. Hopkins sees in Crawford a reflection of himself, a fighter who relies on more than brute strength, who thrives on intelligence, patience, and execution. Oleksandr Usyk, the heavyweight champion revered for his unmatched technical skills, delivered perhaps the boldest endorsement of Crawford. He flat out declared that Canelo was making a mistake. Usyk, who himself has conquered multiple divisions and dethroned larger opponents, stated that Crawford is the best pound-for-pound boxer alive, the clear number one of this era. Coming from Usyk, this was a statement that resonated deeply with fans and insiders. If anyone knows what it takes to overcome size disadvantages with skill and movement, it is Usyk. His faith in Crawford gave the narrative new weight, showing that elite champions outside the immediate conversation also believe Crawford has the edge. Crawford's own words reveal just how certain he is of victory. He has not framed this fight as a dream opportunity or a gamble. He sees it as destiny. For him, there are no safety nets, no excuses. Crawford made sure to avoid a rematch clause in the contract. He did not want weight clauses or restrictions that could later be used as excuses. His position is clear. He wants Canelo at his absolute best, without any limitations, so that when he wins, there will be no debates, no cloud over the result. His confidence borders on defiance, but it is rooted in preparation. Crawford has always trained with focus, and his coach describes him as relentless and disciplined, a man who does not leave gaps in his effort. Once Crawford sets his mind on something, he chases it with a singular determination that others cannot match. The coach also explained that Crawford will not fight Canelo on the back foot the way so many others have. He knows that no one beats Canelo by backing up and waiting. Crawford intends to bring the fight to Canelo, to press him, and to dictate the tempo. This willingness to step forward against a dangerous puncher shows Crawford's fearlessness. He is not coming to survive. He's coming to dominate. Jarrell Miller pointed to hunger as a deciding factor. In his view, Canelo has already achieved wealth, championships, and the adoration of fans. His legacy is secure, regardless of what happens. Crawford, on the other hand, is still chasing history. He wants to be remembered as not just great, but among the greatest ever. That hunger, Miller argued, will drive Crawford to prepare with unmatched intensity. A man chasing his place in history will always have more fire than someone defending a legacy already written. Timothy Bradley, a former champion turned analyst, offered a critical perspective that reinforced Crawford's chances. He reminded fans of William Skull, a fighter far less accomplished than Crawford, who still managed to frustrate Canelo and reduce his punch output dramatically. If Skull could do that, then Crawford certainly can. He also pointed to Jermell Charlo, who moved up in weight to face Canelo and survived all 12 rounds, even though Charlo did not possess Crawford's skill set or mentality. For Bradley, the conclusion is obvious. Skills win fights, and Crawford's skills are second to none.
When concerns were raised about Jaron Boots Ennis sparring with Canelo to help him prepare, Bootsy Ennis dismissed them. He explained that sparring is a normal part of the boxing world and should not be taken as an indicator of who will win. Boots had long-standing ties with Canelo's camp, and sparring sessions are more about sharpening tools than replicating real fights. Bootsy stressed that no sparring partner can truly replicate Crawford's style. He's too unique, too unpredictable. Crawford has explained his philosophy on knockouts, which he sees as not something that comes from brute strength, but from timing, precision, and accuracy. Fighters go down when they are hit with shots they do not see. That is where Crawford excels. His ability to disguise punches, to change rhythms, and to attack from angles opponents never expect. He knows that Canelo has a reputation for power, but he believes his own timing and precision will be more dangerous than sheer force. Marcus Brown has also praised Crawford's ability to handle bigger fighters. He revealed that Crawford often spars with heavyweights and does so comfortably, absorbing shots and countering without panic. For Brown, this is proof that the narrative of Crawford being too small is exaggerated. He has prepared his body and mind for moments like this. Victor Ortiz has added another perspective, calling the fight a masterstroke for boxing. He highlighted the commercial appeal, noting that it's the kind of matchup that draws attention from casual fans and hardcores alike. But he also stated his belief that Crawford will win, and win easily. He dismissed the idea that Canelo's size would matter, pointing out that Crawford's frame and strength are more than enough to compete. To Ortiz, Crawford is not smaller, he is stronger, sharper, and hungrier. Analysts have been quick to note the historic nature of what Crawford is attempting. Moving from welterweight to super middleweight in a pursuit of becoming undisputed in a third weight class is unprecedented. It's a leap that few fighters would even dream of attempting, let alone succeed at. Yet Crawford has meticulously prepared his body for the jump. He is not merely gaining pounds, but reshaping himself into a natural super middleweight. In February 2025, Crawford shocked fans by posting an Instagram story showing his weight at 186 pounds. For a man who once fought at lightweight, this was extraordinary. It silenced many critics who claimed he was too small and proved that he has the physicality to compete at the higher weight. Amir Khan, who once fought Crawford, praised his intelligence, his precision, and his ability to break opponents down systematically. He pointed to the way Crawford dismantled Errol Spence as proof of his mastery. He argued that these same tools can be used against Canelo. Khan's perspective carries weight because he has felt Crawford's punches and experienced his tactical adjustments firsthand. He believes that skill, not size, will determine the outcome. Showbiz the Adult analyzed Crawford's aggressive demeanor during the face-off with Canelo. He interpreted it as psychological warfare, a message from Crawford that he is not intimidated and that he intends to control the narrative from the very start. Such mind games can be decisive, as they establish tone before the first punch is thrown. Crawford is not only preparing physically, but mentally, ensuring that Canelo knows that he is facing a fighter who will not back down. Andy Lee described the matchup as the essence of boxing itself, the clash of speed and power, skill and strength, hunger and experience. He dismissed claims that Crawford is too small, pointing to how much Crawford's body has filled out as he climbed the divisions. He sees the fight as evenly balanced, not a mismatch, and believes it has the potential to redefine the legacies of both men. As the debate rages on, a pattern emerges. Legends like Usyk and Hopkins, analysts like Bradley and Khan, and fighters like Ortiz and Brown all lean toward Crawford. They emphasize his skill, hunger, preparation, and adaptability. While critics continue to warn about the dangers of moving multiple divisions, supporters counter that if anyone is capable of pulling off such a historic feat, it is Crawford. His transformation, both physically and mentally, makes this fight not just possible, but winnable. Ultimately, this fight is more than just a sporting event. It's a clash of eras, a test of will, and examination of legacy. Crawford is chasing immortality, and Canelo is defending his empire. The outcome will not only determine who is the better fighter on the night, but also shape how both men are remembered in the history of the sport. If Crawford wins, he becomes the first fighter in history to become undisputed in 3 weight divisions, an achievement that would place him among the greatest of all time. If Canelo prevails, he further cements his position as one of the most dominant champions ever, proving that even the most skilled challengers cannot overcome his experience, strength, and durability. The world waits, debates, and anticipates. Every quote, every training clip, every rumor adds fuel to the fire. When Crawford and Canelo finally meet in the ring, it will not just be another fight. It will be the kind of moment that defines boxing history for generations to come.